Imagine building a life with someone, trusting them with everything, only to find out they've been lying to your face. Not just lying, but sharing your deepest secrets with another man, sneaking behind your back and betraying you in ways you never thought possible. And the worst part? That man isn't a stranger. It's your best friend. This isn't just another story of infidelity. It's a brutal reality that happens more often than people think. What would you do if your wife and your closest friend turned out to be the biggest liars in your life? Would you confront them? Would you walk away? Or would you fight for the truth, no matter how much it hurts? Today, we're diving into one of the most shocking betrayal stories you'll ever hear. A tale of love, deception, and the painful road to healing. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and drop a like, because trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. And if you've ever experienced infidelity and betrayal, share your story in the comments. Let's get into it. This story of infidelity comes from a subscriber who, like many, never imagined facing betrayal firsthand. Everything seemed perfect until it wasn't. Trust is a delicate thing. It takes years to build, but only seconds to shatter. And when a wife's betrayal unfolds, it doesn't just hurt. It rewrites the entire history of a relationship. This isn't just another story of betrayal, but a cautionary tale about the hidden dangers of misplaced trust and the silent warnings that often go unnoticed. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that the person you vowed to spend forever with has been living a double life. It's a gut-wrenching moment, like discovering a hidden chapter in your favorite book that changes the entire story. Infidelity and betrayal don't just affect the betrayed spouse. They ripple through families, friendships, and even self-identity. What happens when the person you trusted most becomes the very source of your deepest pain? The answer isn't simple, but this story of infidelity is about to show just how far deception can go. Some might say, "I'd see the signs," but would you? The reality is, stories of betrayal often start in the subtlest ways. A slight change in routine, a new password on a phone, or a sudden interest in self-improvement that seems off. And that's exactly what happened here. A cheating wife story that didn't begin with a grand reveal, but with a slow, creeping suspicion. One that would soon unravel everything Daniel thought he knew about love, loyalty, and the woman he called his wife. Daniel had always trusted Emily. Their marriage wasn't perfect. Whose is? But he never suspected she'd be capable of betrayal. Then little things started adding up. She became distant, almost as if her mind was elsewhere. Conversations that once flowed effortlessly now felt forced. Her laughter no longer reached her eyes. And then there was her phone, always within reach, notifications muted, and that sudden habit of texting late at night. It wasn't paranoia, it was intuition. And when intuition whispers, you listen. The moment everything shifted was deceptively simple. Emily had always been careful, but that day, she slipped, leaving her phone behind as she rushed off to work. Daniel wasn't the snooping type, but something in him screamed for answers. One unread message glowed on the screen, a single line that sent a chill down his spine. "Last night was unforgettable. Can't wait to see you again." His heart pounded. This wasn't some casual conversation. This was something much deeper, something he couldn't ignore. It's strange how quickly a sense of security can crumble. In that moment, Daniel's world tilted. Was this infidelity? Was it just a misunderstanding? He wanted to believe in Emily, to give her the benefit of the doubt. But deep down, he knew this wasn't just a bad joke. It was the beginning of a story of betrayal that would force him to question everything. And when he looked deeper, he realized this message was just the tip of the iceberg. Doubt had turned into a storm inside Daniel's mind. He needed proof, something undeniable. And then, fate handed it to him. While searching for his car keys in Emily's purse, his fingers brushed against something unexpected. A hotel keycard. His stomach twisted. A business trip? No. A girls' night out? Hardly. Infidelity and betrayal don't announce themselves. They hide in plain sight. And this was evidence. The kind that turns suspicion into cold, hard reality. Some men ignore the signs, hoping the truth will disappear if left unspoken. But Daniel wasn't one of them. He hired a private investigator, someone who had seen countless stories of infidelity unfold in the shadows. The results came fast, too fast. Within days, he had pictures, timestamps, and locations. Emily wasn't just meeting someone. She had been sneaking around for months. But the real gut punch? The man she was with wasn't a stranger. It was Jason, his closest friend. Imagine discovering that your wife's betrayal is intertwined with the person you trusted like a brother. It wasn't just about a cheating wife's story anymore. It was a complete story of betrayal from both sides. Lies, deception, and stolen moments that had been happening right under his nose. The evidence was there. Undeniable, inescapable. But what do you do when the people you love become the ones who hurt you the most? Daniel was about to find out. There's a difference between suspecting and knowing. When Daniel held the private investigator's report in his hands, reality hit like a sledgehammer. Photos, videos, timestamps, it was all there, undeniable. Emily and Jason, meeting in secret, sharing stolen moments in places Daniel never thought to question. A restaurant on the other side of town. A quiet hotel in the next city over. The betrayal wasn't accidental. It was orchestrated. Trust wasn't broken. It was shattered beyond repair. The next step was inevitable. Some men hesitate, hoping for an explanation that makes the pain easier to bear. Not Daniel. He walked straight into a lawyer's office the next day. Divorcing his wife wasn't just a decision, it was survival. But he wasn't just fighting for himself. He had children to protect. He refused to let Emily's infidelities create an unstable environment for them. Custody became his top priority. He wouldn't let them suffer because of her choices. Filing for divorce was one thing. Facing Emily with the truth was another. When she saw the evidence, she didn't cry, didn't deny. It was almost as if she had already accepted being caught. But Daniel saw something else in her eyes. Panic. Not because she regretted her actions, but because she was about to lose everything. And when someone is cornered, they'll say anything to regain control. Emily had been exposed, and there was no way to spin the truth. But betrayal does strange things to people. It makes them desperate. She tried to justify her infidelities, calling them mistakes, as if a months-long affair could be reduced to a mere lapse in judgment. Tears, apologies, promises to change. Daniel had heard it all before, just not from her. He knew the script, the way guilt twists into bargaining. But he also knew one thing. Some betrayals can't be undone. When words failed, Emily turned to forbidden confessions, admitting things she had never said before. I was unhappy. I felt lost. I didn't mean to hurt you. But Daniel had spent too many nights dissecting her story of infidelity, replaying every sign he missed, every moment she chose Jason over him. Therapy? Reconciliation? Those were fairy tales for men too afraid to let go. He wasn't one of them. His future was no longer tied to hers. Some men cave in. They give second chances because the pain of betrayal feels easier to endure than the fear of starting over. But Daniel had already made his choice. A cheating wife story doesn't need a second chapter. It needs an ending. And his was clear. No more Emily, no more lies, no more looking back. The only thing left was moving forward. And sometimes, the universe has a way of bringing exactly what you need when you least expect it. Starting over isn't easy, but sometimes life hands you exactly what you need when you least expect it. For Daniel, that came in the form of Rachel. She wasn't just a rebound. She was someone who understood pain, who had walked through her own fire and come out stronger. Their connection wasn't rushed or forced. It was natural, effortless. Unlike Emily, Rachel didn't have secrets, only honesty. And after everything Daniel had been through, honesty felt like a luxury. His children were hesitant at first. A story of betrayal doesn't just wound the betrayed, it shakes an entire family. Trust had to be rebuilt, not just in relationships, but in the very idea that love could be safe again. Rachel didn't push. She showed up, she listened, and over time, she became someone they could count on. Slowly, the walls came down. Laughter returned to their home. Daniel wasn't just healing, he was thriving. Meanwhile, Emily watched from a distance. The infidelity story she once controlled had slipped from her grasp. Jason? Gone. The life she thought she'd chosen? Empty. Regret is a cruel companion, one that comes too late. But Daniel didn't look back. His story of infidelity and betrayal had led him here, to a new chapter, one where peace replaced pain and love wasn't a lie. The past was done. The future? Just beginning. Betrayal is a brutal teacher, but it also forces you to see the truth. Daniel could have let his story of infidelity define him, could have drowned in the pain, clung to false hope, or settled for a broken love. But instead, he chose himself. He chose to walk away from a cheating wife story and step into something greater. A life where trust is real and love isn't a lie. And now, the question is, what about you? How many people stay trapped in stories of betrayal simply because they're afraid to start over? How many ignore the signs, justify the red flags, or convince themselves that it was just a mistake? Wake up. The difference between staying a victim and taking control of your life is the choice you make right now. What's it going to be? Will you keep making excuses? Or will you finally do what needs to be done? If this story hit home, don't just watch, take action. Drop a comment, share your thoughts, and let's talk about it. And if you want more eye-opening stories of infidelity and betrayal, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and hit that like button. You never know who might need to hear this next.